outside the box, take a different road. Shake things up, let your story unfold. Unconventional playbook, break the mold. Let your heart guide you, let your tale be told.
Unconventional, exceptional, writing our own rules, feeling sensational. Unconventional, exceptional, embracing who we are, feeling invisible.
Yeah, colors outside the lines, dance in the rain. Embrace the chaos, release the pain. Unconventional playbook, let's make a change. Let's rewrite the stars, let's rearrange.
Unconventional, exceptional, writing our own rules, feeling sensational. Unconventional, exceptional, embracing who we are, feeling invisible.
Be bold, be brave, stand tall. Embrace the journey, rise after the fall. Unconventional playbook, we have it all. Let's break free, let's stand up tall.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Welcome to another edition of Unconventional Playbook. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Let's keep the station growing, and it definitely helps the algorithm. A lot of people are upset with the move to cut Jaren Hall, who is listed as the third quarterback on our squad, and bring in Rypien, who most previously played for the Chicago Bears. Saw him in the preseason in the Hall of Fame game. Here's what I'm going to tell Viking fans. Trust the process. I'm not going to get all bent out of shape about it because we've had ample opportunity to see Jaren Hall play. And although you could argue that he was trending upward for the Minnesota Vikings and they invested a lot of him in terms of, another draft pick that has been jettisoned from this team, I get that. But I'm going to trust the coaches here. I mean, they've had ample opportunity to watch him every day in practice. And for all, they've had to see, maybe he just wasn't good enough. Like, I really hadn't seen anything from Jaren Hall that make me say, whoa, this is the next backup, long-term backup for the Minnesota Vikings. We should keep him. I'm looking at his whole body of work, and his whole body of work pretty much was subpar. He had his moments. He had his moments, before he got hurt. And our boy, the Pasternak, came in after he got his concussion. The one game he had the opportunity to start, but all of his other starts against legit ones were absolutely terrible. You can look at, his preseason games where he's playing a lot against the twos and the threes, more so the threes, and he looked pretty good. That's against the twos and the threes, and the majority of those were threes. He started the third preseason game. Nobody is really playing anybody really good in that third preseason game. They're playing guys who are on the bubble that are trying to make the squad, as the Minnesota Vikings were doing, other teams were doing as well. You bring in Rypien, and again, Rypien's stats don't blow you out of the water, but here's the deal. Rypien has shown multiple times that he can start in this league, and he can legitimately hold his own against ones in this league. I don't think Jaren Hall has proved that. Look at his resume. Look at Jaren Hall's resume against ones. Against ones. And I'm sure that there were times in practice where he's going against ones as well, and maybe that body of work wasn't good. Don't get snookered by what you saw in the preseason against the twos and the threes. Now, you forget, KOC is supposed to be a quarterback whisperer. Let the man be a quarterback whisperer. See, I think right now, essentially what the Vikings are doing is the Vikings are trying to think long-term. I don't think they could give a damn about, backups this season. I don't think they're putting a lot of stock in that. I think the Minnesota Vikings, although they can't come out and say it, it's a PR nightmare, they have an idea of what they're going to be this year. Yeah, they want to have that, competitive rebuild scenario. They want to be good, but I think they're realistic as well. And when you're in those positions like general manager, and when you're the owner of the team, and when you're the coach of the team, you can't come out and say, well, I really don't think this team may be a playoff team this year, so we are going to make decisions that are going to help us down the line. You heard it from Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah's press conference. Anybody watch that press conference? where he had a moment during that press conference where he talked about self-reflecting, and he said, man, I just felt like at times I was trying to hit a home run all the time. He didn't say that specifically. I'm just paraphrasing here. Hold me accountable. Go back and watch that press conference. He basically said, there were just times where I wanted the quick fix and I was trying to hit the home run, and I've learned from that. And that is the art of building a team. That is the art of coaching. Again, this is my profession. I coach for a living. So I know that there are decisions that have to be made where, of course, you want to win now, but maybe you make a decision that may help you 1, 2, 3 years down the road. See, what I think the Minnesota Vikings are doing is I think they're thinking J.J. McCarthy, and I think they're trying to find a legitimate, long-term backup solution for J.J. McCarthy when he comes back next year. Yes, they want to have a serviceable quarterback this year just in case Sam Darnold goes down. You have to have that ready. If you didn't have that ready, that would be malpractice in terms of being a general manager. But you got that really in Nick Mullins, somebody that can come in if Sam Darnold goes down and give you some spot minutes, some spot games, throw for 300-something yards. He's going to give the ball away. But you're not trading for anything. Really, you're not giving up any assets for anything because you can't do that. You really don't have any assets to give up. You depleted your draft picks next year. You're going to have to try to recoup those. So the Vikings are limited in what they could bring in. Everybody's talking about trade for DTR. Well, from the Cleveland Browns. Well, you're giving up assets if you do that. The Vikings can't do that. They've got to stop giving away draft picks for mediocre and garbage players. You got to stop doing that. Now, the one argument could be, why not just, make this move earlier? Why bring back Jaren Hall with the 53? You could have kept somebody else on the team. I'll listen to that argument. But at the same time, I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to trust KOC. I'm going to trust Kwesi. And Kwesi, we trust, man. And Kwesi, we trust. He's been cooking. So these guys have a vision, and we've just got to go with the vision. I'm not going to get bent out of shape about a third-string quarterback that has not looked great at all when he's coming to games against legit competition. And I'm not saying Rypien's been tearing it up either. But here's what I know, giving it the eye test, and I'm a layman, man. I'm not an NFL football coach. I'm just a fan. I'm a layman. You give it the eye test, in my opinion, I think it's an upgrade. Because I'm watching, you can't watch preseason football against the 2s and the 3s. I'm going to look at Rypien and I'm going to look at Hall when they've had opportunities to go against 1s. Go back and watch that film. It's an upgrade, man. It's an upgrade. So I don't necessarily get the timing of the move, but I understand the move. And as a Viking fan, I'm going to support the move. Jaren Hall, tremendous young man. I wish him the best. It sounds like from the presser, they want him to come back to the practice squad and continue his development, I think is what KOC said, if he so chooses. So if he's not in his feelings and his feelings aren't hurt too bad and he doesn't let his emotions drive his decisions, I hope he gets an opportunity to come back to the practice squad, because I think for KOC to come out and make that statement, I think KOC sees him having a shot and having some potential down the road. It's just not now. He's just not it now. He's not good enough now. They see him every day. So the Minnesota Vikings make the move to cut Jaren Hall. I know there's a lot of emotion and a lot of the fans being upset with that. But this is a businessman. The Vikings are trying to get better. And not only are they trying to get better as quickly as they can, but they're looking down the road long term. And I think this whole quarterback thing now, we found our franchise quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. He's not going to be available this year. We know that. But also they're trying to find a long-term backup quarterback. And I think they know that Nick Mullins is not the deal. I'm tired of the Nick Mullins experiment, personally. They're trying to find that guy that can be in line and in step when J.J. McCarthy comes back next year. So I think you're going to see a lot of movement over the next year in that Minnesota Vikings quarterback room, because I don't think they're sold on what they got. Hence the move with Jaren Hall and Nick Mullins, who is valuable to us now because we've seen his body of work against ones, and it hasn't been stellar. He's thrown a lot of picks. He gives the ball away, but there's also that 300, 400-yard game. So again, he has proven what he can do against the ones. And right now, that's good enough for KOC and Kwesi, because what are your other options without giving up some assets? That's the question. So this has been Unconventional Playbook. Hit that like and subscribe button. You guys have been fantastic. Can't wait for the season to start. We're going to get this thing rolling. Can't wait for that first game against the New York Giants. We're going to have Patrick Buchanan on later on this week. Keep this thing rolling, you peers. Thanks for all your support. Latre, take us home.
I don't know who I am. Can I say I'm a man? Am I losing my mind? Am I wasting my time? Do I know who I am?